So we're ready to get started. So tonight we're going to do an exercise to tune up your intuition, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I was really excited to share this with you. Oops. So welcome. I'm really glad you're here. It looks like my screen is freezing a little bit, but hopefully that won't happen again. And so I want to just go over what we're going to do tonight. I want to just give you a little intro and background on the process that we're going to cover tonight. And then we're going to just do a very brief group relaxation just to get us in the right frame of mind for the exercise. And then we're going to do the exercise. And so you need to have a paper and pen at the ready. You know, I have my notebook here. If you have a notebook, because you might, believe it or not, you might want to fill up more than one page. And then we're going to go and do the exercise. I will lead you through it, and then we're going to go over it afterwards and review your results. So I just want to share with you a little bit about what I believe about intuition, and this is what I have learned over many years of studying it and practicing it. I believe that intuition is the intersection of creativity and genius. And whoever just joined us, if you can mute yourself, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're just starting. Just press the mute button. Thank you. So I believe intuition is the intersection of creativity and genius. When we get inspired by innovative ideas, they come to us in a flash. And it's the technology of intuition that brings us new creative ideas from infinite intelligence. And these are not thoughts we've previously been thinking. They're new to us. That's why they're innovative, right? They're new. And Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. So innovation springs from the intuitive mind, not the thinking, reasoning, rational mind, because that's where we just rehash our existing thoughts, and they come to us in a linear sequential fashion. First we're thinking this, then we think that, then we think this. But it's a rehashing of what we already know. But through the technology of intuition, the intuitive mind is when we get those flashes of inspiration and genius. So this is why you find that there are times when different people around the world come up with similar ideas or inventions at the same time. And that's because you are tapping into infinite intelligence where all solutions can be found. We're going beyond what we already know, and we're pulling in new innovative ideas. You know what? If you don't mind, whoever's on, if you could just please mute yourself, that would be great. Oh, let's see. Whoever just joined us, if you could mute yourself, that would be great. So we've been given the technology of intuition to innovate and solve problems to help us go through life. That's why we have our intuition. And if we didn't want to face challenges and learn how to navigate the earth plane, we wouldn't have chosen to incarnate, right? We would still be in the spirit world where they don't have any problems. They don't have to pay their rent. They don't have to pay their mortgage. They don't have to buy a car. They don't have to go to school. They don't have to deal with any problems, right? But we chose to come here. So our intuition is a natural ability that we've been given to help us solve problems while we're in this earthly incarnation. And one thing I would point out is that years and years ago, thousands of years, when man was still living in very tribal units and there really wasn't any society the way that we know it now, and we just lived in the wilds of the jungles or forests, the person who had the most knowledge that everyone looked to for the answers was the tribal shaman. And why is that? Because the shaman was able to perceive beyond what the simple five senses normally bring to us. He or she was able to pull in sensory information that was very subtle. And so that they were able to lead the tribe. That's why they were considered so wise. So the reason for intuition is really a way for us to get intelligence about everything around us when we didn't have society the way we have it now, where we go to school, we're given tools, we're educated, we have police officers guarding our home, we don't have to worry about tigers jumping out of the bush. So initially, intuition was given to us to help us survive, to pull in all of this information that could really help us in the moment when we needed it. So it's a natural ability, and it helps us solve problems while we're here in this incarnation. And of course, everyone is intuitive. And if you take piano lessons, you're definitely going to learn how to play the piano. You may not go to Carnegie Hall and be a concert pianist, but you will learn how to play the piano. And it's the same with your intuition. You can do it. Everyone does it naturally, but with some practice and some lessons, you can get even better. So your subconscious is constantly receiving data about your environment, and that's what I was talking about before with, living in tribal society. It's always streaming in, but you're not aware of it. And one of the reasons why we needed it early on as man was growing and evolving was because when, let's say, you might have been out hunting, if you didn't hear a huge tiger that might be slowly inching its way up to you to jump on you and then make you its dinner, perhaps the hairs on the back of your neck stood up and you slowly sensed something and your back arched and you turned and you caught a glimpse of some spots and you knew intuitively that there was a huge tiger in the bush. That's what your intuition is for, to inform you. Even though you don't have eyes in the back of your head, we have a huge energy signature around us, our aura, that can perceive information even if we don't have eyes in the back of our head. So this data informs you about so much more than you know, and tonight you're going to learn how to access it. So why do we want to solve problems today in the modern world? So we can evolve, so we can grow, expand our consciousness, and really see what we're truly capable of. When you use your intuition to get answers that solve problems and help you navigate through life, you more easily achieve your goals. Once you know you're on the right path, it's much easier to get where you want to go and manifest what you desire. Most of the people that I talk to, and the most common question I have ever received in the nearly 8 years since I started Powered by Intuition is, how can I tell the difference between my intuition and my fears and my ego and my wishful thinking and all of that? It's very confusing. So the problem is that when we're confused, we don't take action. And when we don't take action because we don't know which way to go, we can't get anywhere, right? We're stuck. And when we're stuck, we're not going to achieve our goals. No matter what your goal is, confusion and lack of clarity is always the block that stops us. So intuition cuts through that and gives you the way, gives you the answer, gives you the clarity. So most people don't realize how intuitive they really are. But once you see it in black and white, you're going to be astonished, and you're going to be astonished tonight. So today we'll be doing an exercise to show you how much data you're getting, but you're not even aware of. So this is what we're going to do. I want to just briefly describe what we're going to do, and then we'll do it together. So I selected something that needs describing. You're going to use your intuition to tune into it intuitively and describe it. It's very simple and anybody can do this. This is not hard at all. No prior training is required. All you have to do is relax and listen to my instructions, which I will give to you in a few minutes, and make sure you have your paper and pen and they're right in front of you. And I'm going to ask you to write down, once we start, after I give you these directions, I'm going to ask you to write down whatever comes into your mind as I direct you and lead you through this exercise. And what I want you to do is just describe what it is you're either visually seeing or hearing or sensing or feeling, whatever it is. And I wrote here, describe, don't name. This, like, you might get one image, let's say, and so you think that's all it is. And if you just keep focusing on that one thing, it might be like a jigsaw puzzle, right? If you opened a box and you threw all the pieces down on a table, a jigsaw puzzle might have hundreds of pieces. It's not going to have one piece, but you saw something and you made an assumption that that was the entire thing. And then what happens is you get stuck because you keep wanting to focus on that one thing. Just keep thinking in your mind, this is a jigsaw puzzle, and every little snippet of information that comes to me is one of the pieces to the jigsaw puzzle, so you don't get stuck. Now, I'll ask you in a minute if you have any questions, but what we're going to do as we're going through this exercise is every time you get something that comes into your mind, just open your eyes just a crack so you could write it down on your paper. And you don't have to write a lengthy description because just one word is enough for you to later go back and write more detail about it. Just something like a placeholder, 1 or 2 words, or if it's something you need to draw it. Okay, and now I will stop for questions in a minute. I just want to explain this to you. So, oops, what did we do? Oops. Okay, so let's say in your mind you see a squiggle. Just draw the squiggle on a piece of paper, on the paper. Let's say you see a triangle. Draw the triangle, or whatever it is, any shape that comes into your mind, just draw it on your paper. Any colors, or if anything that you see has a particular color, when you write down what it is, write the particular color that goes with it. Or you might just see a splash of color. Whatever it is, any feelings you get, any thoughts you get, keep writing. Try to keep your pen moving. Like I said, don't focus on one little piece of the jigsaw puzzle and think it's the whole entirety of what it is. Because this is how the intuitive mind works. We're working blind. Remember when you watched the webinar and I said you need a blind process? This is a blind process where you don't know what it is, but your intuitive mind is going to keep drawing on little bits and pieces and give it to you little spoonfuls at a time. So again, don't just write that one thing that came to you and assume you're done. The intuitive mind is going to parse out the information in little bits. So keep going back and writing more of what comes to you. And whatever you see, think, or feel, write it down or draw it if it's something that you can draw. And again, don't actively try to guess at what this is. Just put down the little bits, because when you start guessing, what happens is you go from using the right side of your brain, that is the intuitive, creative side, the side that we think of when we go into a more alpha state. When you start trying to actively guess, you're using the left brain, which is the reasoning side of the brain, and you snap out of that state and you go into beta waves, right? We want to keep your brain in the more creative state. So guessing will shut down the intuitive mind, is what I'm trying to say. So another thing is, if you start guessing or assuming at what you think it is, you'll only be able to visualize that thing in your mind. and all the other impressions will stop coming to you. So now I want to ask you if you have any questions. If you do, just unmute yourself and ask me. I want to make sure it's clear before we jump into the exercise. No? I mean, that's fine. Or if you wanted to put them in the chat, that's fine too. Okay. I'm going to assume that there's no questions. I hope it's clear. It's going to be fun. Don't get nervous. It's supposed to be fun. Okay, so now I want everybody to just close your eyes and just relax. And I want you to take 5 deep breaths in through your nose and hold it for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, whatever is comfortable, and release it through your mouth. So let's do that together. 1, hold, release. Now you do it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now feel yourself very relaxed. Keep your eyes closed. You're going to get impressions starting now about what I told you about earlier that needs describing. Begin to notice what is coming into your mind. What mental impressions come to you? What's the first thing that comes to you? You can jot it down. Open your eyes and just quickly jot it down. Write down whatever impressions come to you. What popped into your awareness? There is no wrong answer. Jot it down very quickly. It's going to come in little snippets and flashes. If you get a snippet of a visual image, write it down. Don't try to name it or guess what it is. Quickly write down at least 10 impressions about what's coming to you. Just put your hand on your paper, hold your pen, and just write down 10 impressions in a row right now on your paper. Quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you've written down 10 impressions, just give me a thumbs up so I can see who's still working. Go back, once you've written your 10 impressions, just close your eyes and try to review and see if anything else comes to you while we're waiting for everybody else. Okay, is everybody done? We're going to move on to the next part. Great job so far. Now, what I want you to do is look over your 10 impressions. Just quickly read through your list and anything else you wrote while you were waiting. Look over what you wrote and then close your eyes once you've kind of made a mental list of everything that you wrote down. And go back and review the impressions that you first got in your mind. And ask yourself, oops, whoever that is, welcome, and please mute yourself. Mute, okay, I'm going to mute, okay. Okay, so go back and review the impressions you got in your mind. Is there more detail to the images? Write that down right now. A lot of times when we go back and revisit the initial images, the more we review it, the more detail actually begins to become available to us. You want to involve all the senses, not just mental imagery, although that's great. Do any tactile impressions come to you? For example, a feeling of smoothness, or hot or cold, or rough, bumpy, lumpy, etc. Tactile impressions, prickly. I'm trying to think of any other, this doesn't mean that's what it is, I'm just giving you an idea. And do you smell anything? And that doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but I want you to try to involve other senses. Just with your nose, go back into your list and mentally take a whiff. Do you smell anything? Do you taste anything? Do you have any type of impressions regarding temperature? Or any impressions that might be weather related, like, the weather outside, I'm saying that kind of weather. I just want you to try to pull in as much sensory information as possible. So write down every single little thing that comes to your mind. Nothing is wrong. And nothing is silly. No matter what it is. Write it down now so you don't say later, I thought of that, but I didn't write it down. Write it down, every little thing. Even if it feels crazy. Just keep going back into the sensory information you received, and as you review it, the intuitive mind will add more detail. It's like a memory. The more we think about it, the more the memory fleshes out. If you just joined us, Nikki, it's fine. We're viewing something. There's an item, there's something that I want everybody to describe. They haven't seen it, but they are pulling in sensory information. So if you want to close your eyes and make a list of at least 10 impressions that you might be getting about this particular unnamed I don't want to target that needs describing. Go right ahead. And if anyone is here that is unmuted, could you just mute yourself right now, just so we don't get a lot of background noise? Great. I'm so happy to see all of you here. We're going to get a chance to talk in a minute, but I wanted to give everybody as much time as possible to do the exercise. Even if you just joined us, you can still do it. We're viewing a target, and we're pulling in all the sensory information from the intuitive mind. Shapes, colors, smells, sounds. Oh, that's very important. Did you hear anything? I forgot to mention that in the slides. If you heard something, write down what you heard. Or if there's some noise, write it down. Did you get a tactile sensation? You know, rough, cold, hot, smooth, bumpy, lumpy, that kind of thing. Velvety, whatever. Taste, smell. The more you review the impressions that came to you, the more information the intuitive mind will give you. So I'm just going to give one more minute, and then we're going to go over. Deborah, did you have a question? Okay. All right. Well, I think it's been a minute. I'm guesstimating, but hopefully everyone has gotten down most of what they wanted to get down. So what I want to do now is try to finish up, put the last few impressions in. And I want to know, let's see, Deborah, did you have your hand up because you had a question? I unmuted you.
Your thing said that if you were done, just put your hand up so you know who was still working.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. Okay, great.
Sometimes
well, you know what? No, I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was good. So I hope I gave everybody enough time. What I want to do is down, Deborah, since I have already unmuted you. I'm volunteering you.
Thank you.
And there's no wrong answer. Believe me, there's no wrong answer.
Well, what did you? I didn't hear the first part of what you said. You broke up.
Oh, I am volunteering you to share, read to us what you wrote.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Ariel. What's up?
Okay. Who else?
Yeah, hold on. All right, bye. All right. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but my dog was bothering me while I was sitting here in my relaxed mode. So I got.
Okay.
First thing that came to my head when you were talking was I don't know why, but I got a triangle in my head. I was seeing a triangle, and a pyramid came to my mind. So I wrote down a pyramid, and then I wrote down grain for some reason. I was thinking of grain, came into my head, and then my dog started whining at me because her ball got under the thing and she couldn't get it, and I'm like, leave me alone. I'm trying to relax it. But she wouldn't leave me alone because she's very obstinate when she wants what she wants. So I couldn't begin. And then I started writing dog, whining, soft,
Oh.
furry, loving, um, uh, um, dreary because she was driving me crazy and it's cold. I'm a little cold right
Oh.
now. And then I
Uh.
thought about the pyramid again. I guess my mind went back to the pyramid, and I was thinking of
Mm-hmm.
Joseph with the grain.
Oh,
I
you were
don't know
thinking
why.
of, oh, Did you say Joseph?
Yeah, with with the famine. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but that's what came
Oh,
into
yeah,
mind.
right, right.
Yeah,
I see how you made that connection. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because
Yeah.
supposedly there's still grain in them pyramids. I don't know, but that's what's in my head was what was coming to me, and so I don't know if you got a triangle over there or something. I don't know, but that's what came
Well,
into.
um, uh, I'm going to show everybody what it is in a minute, but I want to get everybody's impression. So,
Okay.
anything come to you in any other way? Like when I said, try to use your other senses. And I'm not saying
I
you. I
I
think
didn't
it was
smell
great.
anything. I didn't
Okay.
smell anything. I don't. I didn't smell anything. I didn't. I felt cold. I
Mm-hmm.
felt cold. But I honestly no. I just with my eyes closed, I just started thinking, and like I said, at first I thought of a triangle, then I thought of a pyramid, and then my
Mm-hmm.
dog, and then I said my dog just threw it all off because she started
Ah,
with her ball, and then my head went to
yeah,
the dog and whining, and her ball,
yeah.
leave me alone.
Right.
I'm thinking,
Okay. Well, I think that I'm gonna tell everybody what it is in a minute, but I think that no, this is a really good first start. And I just want to say, probably your dog was knowing you were going off on some journey, and it wanted you to return. So that they're like little kids, right? As soon as you
yeah,
want to do something else, right?
she doesn't like
So
when I'm
great.
not with
No,
her.
they want your full attention, just like a little
Yes.
kid. Well, great. Well, thank you for sharing that. I am going to mute you, and we're going to come back to this in a minute, so don't go anywhere. Billy Joe, how did you do? Please share your impressions with us.
Okay, I had a few different things. I,
Okay,
I do this stuff normally on my own, the breathing and relaxing, everything. I do that normally. Well,
great.
this time I had relaxing feelings. It smelled like ammonia, like that cleaning agent ammonia. I got
Mm,
a red candle, a green cube, and then a light that was really bright. And pictures started flashing with the lights, but they were going so fast I couldn't make them out. Then I got like a black background
mm-hmm.
with more light shining in, and
Did,
then sense of blue, and I could sense my son that passed away last year, and seeing the message that he gave me the last time he came to me, and it's still coming to me as my eyes are open and not closed. Is all that the way it's supposed to?
you know what? I'm so sorry, but I think because I can't really understand every word you're saying. I know you said you smelled ammonia, right? And
Yes,
then there was a light that was very bright. And
yes.
then you sensed your son who passed away. I'm very sorry you said you passed away last year. But other things you said, I'm so sorry. I could not quite understand that.
The light was moving so fast with the pictures that I couldn't get it to slow down enough to actually get an actual picture. But even
Mm.
if my eyes are open, I can still sense like everything's still coming to me even with my eyes open.
That's okay. That's good. No, eyes open is actually very good. When you can get intuitive imagery with your eyes open, that's a very very good sign. So that's great. Okay, so no any shapes, any
Yeah,
sounds. What
a
shapes?
red triangle and then a green cube.
Okay, you said a red triangle and then a green what?
Cube. Like a
Oh,
green,
cube.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. And any I know you said you smelled ammonia, so any sounds
No,
or any sensations like tactile sensations?
no.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add? This is all good.
Nope, that was it.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so who else do we have? I'm going to mute you, Billy Joe. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Who else? let's see, I don't think anybody else has their camera on. So JL, Jolena, Tony, Ann, and I think, is that Rebecca McLean? I think, not sure, R. McLean, or Nikki, or Debbie Martinez. Anybody else want to share their impressions? Again, there's no wrong answer. And when you share it, you may be very, very surprised at how right on you are. Anybody else? Do I have to pick somebody? Am I going to be like the Catholic school teacher? I have to pick somebody, huh? Okay. I'm going to pick Jolena. Are you there, Jolena?
I'm here.
Awesome. Share with us what came to your mind?
And you are intuitive because I'm like, she's going to pick me. I know she's going to pick me.
There you go. Well, then you should have no trepidation whatsoever about sharing. You're very intuitive yourself.
Okay. So I was thinking the first thing came to my mind was green and then kind of smooth and round. And the smell I was getting was kind of like almost like a crisp type of smell. And then I was like, it's an apple. Like it came to my mind. Okay, it's a green apple is what came to my mind. And then
did you say snow or smell?
Smell. It was like a fresh, clean smell. And
oh, wow. Okay.
And then what came to my mind was like a green apple. Like, and I had to like take that away and try to focus back on, different descriptions of things because I was like, I can't like go right to object. And then I felt it was kind of cold. And I think I was thinking, back and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not on the right track. Let me think of something else. Then I was like, okay, maybe it's an autumn leaf or something that's smooth, but with like a few little crevices. So I kind of went back and forth between the two, but my main thought was the green apple because I had thought of that and kind of stuck with me. So.
Okay, so were you, I think you did great. And I have just noted what you said. I wrote down everything everybody said. And I want to get one more person to volunteer, otherwise I will. But maybe people don't want.
Moon.
Okay.
Boat in the water.
Okay.
Stars. Sparkling water. Salty and bumpy.
Yes, wait, sparkling water. And then did you say salty and something?
Salty and bumpy.
Salty and...
Bumpy, like in the water, bumping.
Oh, bumpy. Oh, very good. Okay, excellent. And so that's good. Okay, I mean, everybody's is good. And believe me, I'm not saying everyone really hit on something I'm going to share with you in a minute. So you had... What?
Can we say what we think it is?
No.
No, not before you tell us?
No, I'm going to show you what it is right now, but I wanted to get more impressions. So Anne said moon, boat in water, sparkling water, salty and bumpy. Anything else, Anne?
I had stars in there.
Oh, stars. Oh, right. Okay, I didn't write that down. Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, very good. All right. Are you ready? This is what you were looking at. Now, I would like to point out, I'm just going to start with N. A lot of times, you said you saw sparkling water, sand. This is obviously the 3 pyramids of Giza in Egypt, right?
Pyramids.
Yeah, I know you did. I know. I just wanted to say, though, there's nothing, sparkling water, in the mind of the psychic viewing, you could see sand because it does look many times like rippling water. So, Anne, you did get something. And bumpy, if you were able to go to the pyramids and you walked up to these pyramids They actually look
Wow.
like little bricks. It's bumpy. It's from far away, of course, it looks very smooth, but if you were up really close, it appears bumpy.
Right.
Okay. And a lot of, geologists will tell you that the actual sand that we have in our deserts is where oceans used to be. So it could be very salty. Okay, so I think that's really good. Now I want to go back to the other impressions we got. We had Jolena. She had smooth and round. Now look, what do we have here? This is a parking area. This road in the front, you see? It's a paved road for tourists to come, and it's smooth and round. You see that, Jolena? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I do see it.
Yeah, you see, it's not good to guess. Like I know you got onto green apple. And maybe, when you see the trees, like the round tree in the background that could look like a green apple. So that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just, this is the way that when you work blind, it's the way that your intuitive mind will bring you little snippets. Remember I said you're going to get little snippets and flashes? You may not see the whole. Like only someone who is an amazing clairvoyant might actually see the whole. So what you got was not wrong at all. I don't want you to think it's wrong. Now, as far as smell like a crisp autumn day, now I have never been to the pyramids, but it's possible that, there's really nothing there but sand and a few trees. Maybe it has a similar quality.
And they say there's still a little grain left in them pyramids.
Yeah, that's right. So, that doesn't make it wrong. Now, you said you felt like you were something with crevices, Jolena. You said that also. And again, if we go up to the pyramids, they're not smooth. They look like brickwork when you get up close. So that is the crevices that you're probably, now you definitely saw green, there's green there. So I think both you and Anne did very well, very well. So I don't want you to think that that it wasn't good. You did really well. And then Billy Joe, you said there was a light that was so bright. Now, of course, when you're in the middle of the desert, it's bright, it's hot, right? There's a lot of bright light, Billy Joe. Now, you said you saw a red triangle and a green cube. Well, I would venture to say definitely the triangle is, again, right on for the pyramid, absolutely. And the color, I mean, maybe what I think, now I was trying to ask you about weather and tactile sensations, perhaps the way your intuitive mind works, Billy Joe, red means hot, and it's very hot there, right? So maybe you saw a red triangle because probably if you went up and touched one of these pyramids, it would probably be very, very hot to the touch. Does that make sense? You can unmute yourself, Billy Joe. But and again, a green cube. Again, look at some of these trees. They almost look like a little bit square, the one in the front or the one to the left. So this is what your mind was bringing to you. Also, if you look at the very bottom, that shows the top of a building that's probably a tourist center, the square flat roof, that looks like a square cube. So again, this is how our intuition brings bits and pieces of information to us when we're working blind. All of you so far have done an amazing job. And I want to go back to Deborah. You, right away, you said pyramid. You got it. You kept saying triangle pyramid, and then you got grain, and then you thought of Joseph and the famine. That is excellent, excellent. I mean, I want to know, are you...
Pop that picture up here. I blew my own mind.
Yes, I told you guys you're going to blow your own minds. And I want to mention one thing. A lot of you said you felt cold. It's very hard in the psychic realm, like we're working with clairvoyance, we're working in a different field of perception, right? It can be very hard to distinguish hot from cold. Because if you ever, like, I live right outside of New York, and I played outside many times in the snow, and I remember where my toes got so cold that not only could I not feel them anymore, but they felt hot. Like I actually got some, whatchamacallit, when it's like you get that, like a burn from the
It's so
cold.
they feel like they're burning.
So, yes. So the fact that some of you felt cold does not make it wrong. It just means that because it's hot there, and usually, in the area of the pyramids, 90 to 100 to 110 or 15 degrees is not unusual. It could feel so hot that it is that same experience where it feels like you can't tell the difference between hot and cold. So don't think that anybody got anything wrong. You all did amazing, amazing. I wish I could hear from everybody else, because I bet all of you had, I wish I could hear from everybody else, because you all, wait, I'm gonna mute everybody.
Hello.
Wait.
Hi, West. How are you?
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I don't want anybody to think that you didn't do a good job. I see, is that Rebecca I see up there? You put your camera on?
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute you.
Hi. Yeah, it was interesting.
It's great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you
Hi.
too.
Would you like to share?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. What did you get? Share with us.
So in the beginning, because I'm a meditator, my mind goes blank. And so I didn't see anything except kind of some light. And then I could feel myself trying to make something visual, and then I just relaxed again. But then the image came up to me that there was a structure or a building and a road in front of it with a red and a white car. And then across the street from it was a park with some green grass and some trees. And I heard the noise of the cars driving. And it looked like it was there was a sky with no clouds. And that was it.
Oh my God. See, you're fantastic. And you did an amazing job. And it's so interesting if you notice that everybody picked up on different parts of the puzzle. And remember when I said in the beginning, it's like a jigsaw puzzle?
Yes.
You might get one piece, but somebody else might get another piece.
Yes.
So amazing. You did another amazing job, Rebecca. Fantastic. The structure, building, a rounded road in front of it with a red and white car, a park with green grass and trees, a sky with no clouds. Excellent, excellent job. All of you, every single one of you did an excellent, excellent job.
Thank you.
And I hope that your minds were blown, because this just shows you how amazing you are, how your perception goes beyond the five senses, and how much information is being streamed to you continuously without your being aware of it. So now that we have had so many, I want to know, does anybody else want to share? Please unmute yourself, because you can see nobody is wrong. Everybody hit on some part of this photograph. Anybody else want to share anything? Unmute yourself. I see Barbara's here. Barbara, do you want to say anything? Tony, JL, I know Deborah, I think you did already. And let me see if there's anybody else I missed. Jolena did, Billy Joe.
Go to the chat room.
Go to the chat room. Okay. Oops. Why? Oh, chat room. Chat. Tony says he does not have a mic. Okay, I understand. Okay, let's see. Oh, Barbara Hennelly. Oh, squiggle, purple, curves, pointy, leather, hopeful, detached, windfall, man, job, beacon, lighting, crisp air, bells, champagne, travel, clarity. Wow. Okay. First of all, I want to say curves, right on. That road is absolutely positively curved. Squiggle, it can be perceived in the mind as a squiggle. Purple, you might be picking up on that car, which could appear to be purple. It looks, maybe it's a maroon, a reddish maroon. That could come off as purple. Pointy, absolutely, without a doubt. The pyramids are pointy. Leather, leather could be a sensation that you might be picking up from the pyramid itself because of the way that it's kind of not smooth. I don't know, but feeling hopeful. People that go there are a lot of tourists. They're probably feeling very hopeful. Detached, yeah, you're detached. You go there, you're on vacation. You're not taking your cares with you, right? Windfall, maybe a feeling because these pyramids were full of probably gold at one time, so that may come into it. Man, absolutely. Many men built these things with their hard labor. And job, yeah, this was their job to build these pyramids. Beacon, yeah, I would think maybe, it is like a beacon up there. Lightning, crisp air, I'm sure, again, we're getting these sensations because it's hard to tell the difference between hot and cold in an environment like that. Bells, I don't know, maybe they ring bells there, but champagne, travel, absolutely. I bet some of these tours are very high end, and maybe they come with champagne inside the pyramids. I can't say that that's wrong. It's probably more of a depiction of the mood and travel. Absolutely. This is a huge tourist place, and going there and getting clarity. I think that's excellent, Barbara. Thank you for sharing that. Fantastic. So I want to know now. I think Rebecca said her mind was blown. Deborah said her mind was blown. Billy Joe, I think everybody pretty much said that. So I want you to just give yourself a little pat on the back for how psychic you are. You guys are really psychic, and that's my crowd. So I'm glad to have you. Awesome. So I want to now open it up for any questions. So if you have a question, just unmute yourself. Anything or a comment about this process, please feel free. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes. I have a question.
Sure, Billy Joe.
During this whole thing, was I sensing my son?
Doing this whole thing, you were sensing
my son.
Oh, okay. You were sensing your son. Well, I wonder if that was, in a way, a significator of the fact that this is a huge burial site.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, like in a sense, that was like a symbol for you to say, I mean, not that you would say this, but it is I think that is also correct, because it's saying there are many, many thousands of people buried here. Not just the people who could afford to have the pyramid, who were high-level people, but their servants, their concubines, of people who were workers who died building these pyramids. They're all buried here. So I think that would be symbolic of, like, if I had said to you, what do you think this target is about? What's the purpose? Maybe I should have asked you that. Maybe, you might have got something like a feeling of a cemetery or something. But I think that was right on, Billy Joe. Really amazing, amazing job.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else has a comment or a question? Was something not clear that you want more clarity about? Just feel free to unmute yourself. No? Okay, well, I just want you to see how amazing you are. And just think, if you can do this, what can't you do? Does this give you like some excitement and hope? Like, holy cow, if I could see with my eyes closed, I don't know how many miles it is. I don't know, is it 20,000 miles? I have no idea. All the way to Egypt, to, the Valley of the Kings, or whatever this is called, the 3 pyramids of Giza, I think it is. What can't you do? Does this give you an idea of how amazing and powerful you really are and how capable you are? Like, you could do anything. Do you get that? Doing this, there is nothing you can't do. I hope you see that. That's part of the exercises to give you confidence, not only in your intuition, but in the fact that when somebody says the world is your oyster, it really is. It's just a matter of perception. You can do anything. So just think what you could do if we took this process and we applied very specific steps in a process like this where you work blind to actually get answers to what you feel you don't know in your life, to get the answers to problems, to solve problems, to overcome challenges, to get on the right path and live your purpose and reach all your goals. Now that you see that you did this, do you think if you had an actual system to apply and you got the answers, it would help you to live the life that you dream of living? Just if you want to put your hand up if you see how the connection is made. Yeah, Billy Joe, awesome. Anybody, if you want to unmute yourself or you want to put it in the chat, but I want you to see how amazing you are and how you can do anything. This is a beginning, just the beginning. So guys, I just want to say it has been a pleasure. And we did this already. We all looked at the shapes and the colors and the impressions, and all of you were right. Even though they were so different, you were all right. I want you to remember that. And you're very talented, even if you didn't realize it. But now that you see this, you obviously know that you are a walking, talking receiver of intuitive information all the time. So just imagine learning how to take this and apply it in a systematized method or protocol so you could get answers to whatever it is you need answers to in your life. That would be pretty cool, huh? I want to just check the chat if anybody put anything else in there. Okay. Well, Rebecca had to go. She was wonderful. It was great to see Rebecca as a previous student of mine, and it's always I'm always happy to see everybody again. Great. Well, now I just want to say, what is your greatest takeaway from tonight? Either put it in the chat or unmute yourself. I know everybody's mind was blown. And again, I want to repeat, you were all right. Each of you got a different jigsaw puzzle piece. But what's your greatest takeaway? Is there any like illumination or aha moment you want to share? Anybody? Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat. I'll just check the chat. Nope. Okay. Okay. Did somebody unmute themselves that wants to share something? No? Okay. Well, I hope you are getting some kind of a takeaway from this. Like, I am amazing. I am so much more than I think I am. We're all connected in consciousness, right? There is nothing unknowable to you. If you can view the pyramids from your little computer, wherever you are, there is nothing that is unknowable to you. That is the takeaway that I hope you're getting. We are all connected in consciousness. Now, if tonight's training has excited you and you want to talk to me about mentoring on learning a system and a methodology for using this type of training to get answers, to get you on the right path to achieve your goals, great. I'd love to speak with you, and I would be happy to. All you need to do to book an appointment is just get on my calendar. It's you could just type it into your browser, angelaartemis.com/apply. That's my other website, but Powered by Intuition is my main website where I write my articles and everything. But this one is just click on angelaartemis.com/apply, and you will go to take a time slot on my calendar, and then you'll get a short little application to fill out. Just fill out the application, and when I get that, then I'll confirm your appointment, and we'll chat and talk about what's going on with you, where you want to get to, what's getting in the way, and how, you know, we can work together to get your intuition humming, because obviously all of you are very psychic who are here. You just need the right training. It's like somebody who's born with the aptitude to play the piano. Once they take lessons, they become a virtuoso. But you need the lessons. You need the step-by-step. And if you're interested, I would love to talk to you. This is my passion. I love teaching people to see how brilliant they truly are, because each of you is truly a genius and all the answers are at your fingertips. We just need to show you how to get them. So I want to ask if anyone at this moment, if you have any last comments or questions, please feel free to ask me. Unmute yourself or put it in the chat. I'm just going to check the chat. Oops, here it is. In case anybody else has another. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your knowledge. You're welcome. My true pleasure. I love sharing this. This is something that has been my passion for since I was a child, honestly. It's the one thing that I've never stopped being interested in learning about, and I love sharing it. If you want to talk to me, just book an appointment, fill out the application, and we'll talk soon. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the training. Oh, Billy Joe, yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you and good night.
Oh, you're so welcome. My pleasure. It was great meeting you in person. Thanks, everybody. I hope to see you again soon.